Welcome to another edition of the AsIs podcast. I am your host, Shabazz. How's everybody feeling today? How was your week? How was your day? I hope it was a good one. With that being said, I also hope that this podcast finds you in the best mental, physical, and spiritual health. I hope that this podcast puts a smile on your face. Today, I am going to premiere the life of R.Kelly. Understand that I do know what's going on. I'm very aware of the court case that is currently being played out as a soap opera. And I am going to refrain from speaking about it for right now. I am going to focus and concentrate on what's real and what's been done. Unfortunately, as a result of New York, R.Kelly was sentenced to 30 years. He is currently fighting another charge in cases in Chicago, as you all may know. Some of the things that you say sometimes can have a pushback, you know, and when you're non-biased, you get pushback from both sides. So it doesn't really matter what I say because there's going to be slack behind it. So what that made me think about and do was to concentrate and focus on what I do. What I do is a content creator. I create content. I've been doing so for quite some time. So I've decided to take the actual events of what's going on and put it to film. Some of you may not like what you see, but these are actually the things that are happening that are not being played out on the news. These are the things that men have to deal with when incarcerated. I feel as though there should be a voice for that. I feel as though this is my lane. I feel as though this should be my focus. And it shouldn't just be on R. Kelly. It should continue to be what I've always done throughout my career, if you want to call it that. So with that being said, I'd like to introduce you to KINGPIN. Check it out.
I believe that in the midst of this life, we are in the midst of failure. But the good news is that in the midst of this life, we are also in the midst of victories. And it is only how you handle your struggle and what you go through. If you handle it right and we come together, not only will we be successful, but we will shine a true light on the measure of our worth. But we can't do it by ourselves. So don't blame me when the shooting don't stop, when kids are not obeying their parents, or when kids are listening to rap music or R&B music or sexual music that I put out or whatever. Blame the parents.
Damn, son. I remember that shit like it was yesterday. You said some good shit, gave some good advice, but I'm gonna be real with you. Hearing it now is suspect. No disrespect, but homie, I fought for you. I turned a blind ear into a braille thought. You feel me? Like seriously, just because you was black, I held you down, gave you the benefit of all doubts, but somehow I feel betrayed. Like listening to all these girls got me feeling duped. But still, because I respect the game, I said, let me talk to him, show him some light, get him out of all this darkness. You know a nigga definitely ain't trying to kick you when you're down. So no matter how dark it gets, hear me and stay up. You gotta hold your head, keep your weight up, and for once, you gotta listen. Even though the shit may hurt, listen and ask God for forgiveness. I ain't gonna get on no cornball. What's your cousin's name? Nigga named Levi, some shit. I know you might not even know who I'm talking about, but anyway, I need you to pick your head up and listen.
I ain't got no time for appeasement. Why would I respond to a pawn? I'm the. Hold up! If I let my dogs off the leash, they do my work to get out of Dodge while they eat me. I can see the blood and the beef. They don't need anything behind after eating. I can see you soft, ever thought about retreating. If you never have, then they'll give you a reason. Better watch your tone, lose your bass when you speaking. Underneath the mask is the wrath of a beast. When you learn how to smile in their face, then go cutthroat. Then they wanna call you a con when the blood cold. I remember starving while y'all had a truckload. Now I'm with the mob with the call and the gusto. I'm a top dog on a stat sheet. Off court, but I call plays for the athletes. When the cop cars try to catch me, cause I rolled off in a taxi. Put my feet up, I'm relaxing. Singing Figaro with no accent. While I pull strings from the streets in. Do it all with a straight face, I'm the kingpin. Top dog, top flow, boss mode. I'm the kingpin. Showstopper, top dog, top five. I'm the kingpin.
Now, I told you before that this is my world, my lane. This ain't no R&B. I'm gonna walk you through what you need to know, show you how it works behind the walls. Don't get it twisted, son. Jail is just like the streets, but on steroids. It's violent, gossipy. It's that getting your business on steroids. And most of the time, it all starts in the streets. Word can come from a visit or the phone. But when it comes, it starts a chain of events. Niggas start thinking, reminiscing, plotting. And because you are who you are, best believe they're gonna be plotting on you. Let me tell you something. Even though you got the charges you got, dudes are going to hide what they really in here for. But don't be fooled. Some of these niggas is just as bad. And you're going to be able to tell based on how bad they want to put hands on you. For example, that little nigga, Puerto Rican Lou, he got serious anger issues. He in here on some domestic violence shit. He like beating on women. But a little different though, cause he try the same shit with a man. Watch him, cause he dangerous. But only if you show fear, or if you can't answer his questions. He be asking shit like, what you in here for? He might ask you, did you really beat that girl with a shoe? But you know what? Don't even answer. This is jail, and everybody lie. Matter of fact, let's change the convo. Did them COs give you some condoms? Had you bugging, right? How you gonna give a bunch of convicted men a condom? I mean, I know it gotta go down like that, but damn. As long as they keep that shit away from me. Yo, no disrespect, but I heard you get down like that. Is it true? Wait a minute. On second thought, don't even answer. Once again, I know, in jail, niggas lie. Yo, I'm gonna tell you a secret. Don't let your mind be locked up or the time will kill you. Always try to think about home and be grateful for having one. Some of these niggas ain't got nobody. They ain't got no home. But I do. You do. So think about that. Because to be honest, that's all I really do. Especially those moments. You know what I'm saying? I think all men do. Black, white, Spanish, and other. Guess that's what's called the power of the P.
Where you been, baby? I haven't seen you lately, no. I've been trying to be real patient. All this waiting's got me anxious. Where you been, baby? Out that time now, come here, let's rewind. Watch me please you, let me ease your mind. It's about that time. About that time.
If you don't listen to nothing else, listen and remember that a stressed out nigga will kill you in here when he's stressed. Especially over his woman. The woman he can't touch because she at home. You feel me? Anyway, it's enough for right now. I'll see you in the yard tomorrow. I don't think I need to tell you, but you know you got some issues. And handling your issues will set a nigga's rep. Be careful. Don't take nothing from nobody. And keep your mouth shut about your case. These dudes gonna believe the news, not you. I'm out.
With a straight face, I'm the kingpin. Top dog, top flow, boss mode. I'm the kingpin. Showstopper, top dog, Godfather. I'm the kingpin.
Hopefully you've enjoyed the little mini movie. My intention is to make a series. And I'm going to make a series while the trial is actually happening. I don't want to go too in depth or too in detail because some of the things that I want to say and some of the things that I have to show are very sensitive. So I have to add an element of dramatic purposes. Sometimes art imitates life and life imitates art. But at the end of the day, the game is the game. The rules are the rules and the players are definitely the players. But what people forget is that if you play and when you play, the objective for both parties on both sides is to win. It's never personal. You dig? Never. You can't take how you feel, interpersonalize it, and project it on someone else because they don't have to agree. We can agree to disagree. You understand? So I say all of that to say in defense of any and all criticism as far as the project is concerned. I get it on both sides. But I am not going to lose my focus. I came in this game to be non-biased, but prior to me being in this game, I was a content creator, and I was not a content creator for social media. I was a content creator for magazines and for film. I strayed. I lost my way. You know, at the end of the day, sometimes it's strange that other things and other people can bring you back into focus. And when you start to really see the picture, sometimes we don't like what we see. I'm experiencing that now with this entire trial. I'm very aware of Lisa Van Allen's testimony, Rashonda's testimony, but I'm also aware that none of those testimonies could have taken place without one subject, and his name is R.Kelly. I think that we forget that. I hear both sides, but my side is this. Nothing could have ever taken place unless R.Kelly opened that door. Excuse me, and that's what I think people forget. But I don't want to go too far into that either. I just want you to realize the truth. And everybody's truth is different. You dig? Like, what's real for you doesn't necessarily have to be real for me. What's real for me doesn't necessarily have to be real for you. The best way I can explain it is, you know, think about knowing someone that's a business owner, okay? And you're not a business owner, you have a job. And the person that you know that's the business owner has a complaint. And their complaint may be, you know, they have to pay whatever it is they have to pay. For example, you're paying, you know, these are just examples. You're paying $1 a month for rent. They're paying $5 a month for rent. So when you talk to this person is telling you or complaining about, I have to pay $5 for rent. You're only paying $1, so you're not going to understand the problems that they have. You can understand, but you're not going to be able to relate because you might come to that person saying, hey, let me borrow $1. You understand? But that person is paying $5. So that is 4 times what you're actually paying. But what you're not realizing or looking at is the fact that they have 4 times the problems that you do. But somehow you take their problem and say they can afford to give me the $1 because they're living in a higher class. And somehow or another, you'll actually get mad at that person for not loaning you that $1. All I'm saying basically is there are different levels to everything. And because you may not be on that person's level does not give you the right to get mad at that person. Everybody is different, dog. Everybody's level of success is different. Everybody's definition of success is different. Some people just want to have, you know, a house and a car. Or some people just want an apartment. Some people want whatever it is that they want, and that is their definition of success. You can't get mad at them because they don't see what you see. I want it all. But I know in order to want it all, you have to be willing to work it all. You have to be willing to take the challenges, and you have to be willing to take the risk. That's what we lack. Taking the risk. Everybody want to be a nigga until it's time to be a nigga. You dig? Daryl McDavid, the man that's in the R.Kelly case, his co-defendant currently, definitely wanted to be a nigga. But now it's time to be a nigga. And up in that courthouse, he has dropped being a nigga, and he's now a white man. He's reverted back to being what he was born as, although his father was black. But the problem with that is you always are allowed to change. See, because understand something. A black man wears a black suit every day of his life. He can't take that off. That is his uniform forever. But when you have situations like Daryl McDavid, although the blackness is inside of his veins, there's a white exterior. And you have the option to play both sides. And sometimes that's beneficial while you're doing dirt. But when trouble comes, that shit comes. And that is part of the point inside of KINGPIN. You're not going to stop it. But you have to be prepared to fight it. I don't want to sound philosophical, but are you guys prepared to fight whatever it is outside of R.Kelly? Because a lot of us have put our energies and our thoughts inside of the Kelly case. Meanwhile, there are problems right at home. And we're overlooking them because we're too busy focusing on something that's really fantasy. Because the average person will never see $750 million. That man seen that at one time, but he did not see it in a cash value. And that is another thing, and a rumor and a myth. There was never $750 million inside of R.Kelly's bank account. R.Kelly was worth a catalog that was equal to $750 million. But for me, and understand what I'm going to say, and I'm going to keep this one short. Because I am an ex-felon and because I've been in the system, I know how authorities do. And what that means is you'll have a guy, and this is a fact, who will have a case, and the feds will say the man sold $1 million worth of whatever, any kind of drug. How they come with that calculation is you might have been under investigation for the last 30 days. And as a result, they've counted each customer that you had, right? They've counted 100 customers a day for the last 30 days. They've guesstimated or estimated that what you were selling was equivalent to $20 per sale. They tally that up and add on to it, and then they say you sold $1 million worth of drugs. But the reality is this, dog. Son, you might just be moving, $1,000 a week, and you can just be selling something legitimate. It doesn't have to be drugs. And you make the money that you make, but then you have to re-up. So off of that $1,000, you might only make $300. But then you have to, the $300 in addition to the $1,000 that you've originally spent, but you have to go back to that $1,000, right? In order to go buy the same thing again. Over a period of time, it may appear that you've made that kind of money, but in reality, it's not. It's no different than having a check every week. And if your check is for $750, after you pay the bills, take care of the kids, gas, food, whatever it is, you're back to broke. So the $750 you made last Friday is not still there. At the end of the day, after the calculations, over a period of time, you've made $30,000, $40,000 for the year. It sounds like a lot, but that's not what it is, because you're still struggling and hustling day to day. That's how the feds come with these calculations. So sometimes the amounts that they put on you can be fictitious. I'm not saying that R.Kelly didn't have $750 million in a catalog. But because someone says that and puts an equated value on it does not necessarily mean it's true. And what I'm trying to say is that is the problem a lot in this case. There are exaggerated examples and they make them stick. It is no different than charging that man with 10 different charges, but they're all really one. They're just worded differently. And this is how they're able to get their plea bargains, because they'll drop 8 of the charges in exchange for you taking 2. But all 10 of them was really the same charge. They was just worded differently. That is the game that they play. And that is what people don't see. It's the same thing as in KINGPIN. You ain't going to see what's happening behind them bars. You can imagine, but you don't know. And until somebody shows you, how you gonna know? You dig? Unless there's someone to take you and be your tour guide, you can only think and guess. My job, by the blessings of Allah, by the blessings of God, is to be the tour guide. And I'm going to tell you what I always tell you. If there is any people, any person that is in your life that does not uplift you, inspire you, or make you think, you need to change the people you hang with. You need to change the way you think. With that being said, and before it gets too preachy, I appreciate you taking the time to listen. Thank you for watching KINGPIN, Episode 1. Episode 2 will return on Sunday. In the meantime, you can leave your comments, express how you feel, and let it be known. I'm sure you guys are going to do that. Listen, as always, I need you to have a nice day.